Thinking about buying or selling in Bend, Oregon in 2025? You're probably wondering, are home prices going to keep climbing? Is the market correction on the horizon? Today, we're going to break it down, the latest trends, expert insights, and what it means for buyers and sellers in Central Oregon. We're going to get after that video right now. All right, let's start with the quick numbers. August 2025, the median home price is around $734,000. Inventory is slowly rising with about 1,216 homes available in the market, and the median days on market sits at around 35. What does all that mean? Well, prices are flexing down. We have more houses available, and they're sitting for longer unless they're super well priced or a super unicorn property. So that tells me a couple things. We're going into winter. It's always a little bit slower in winter. So I wouldn't too much hang your hat on that's what's going to happen. But this has been trending for a couple months. We're getting more and more for sale, and it's taking longer and longer to sell. So delve into some of those market factors. Lots of factors appeal to people moving to Bend, right? First, it's the lifestyle appeal. We're getting ready to go into winter, and for you that don't know, Bend is a winter wonderland, just like it's a summer paradise. People come here to go skiing, mountain biking, in the snow, downhill, fat bike tires, like whatever you got. There is a lot of stuff to do in the winter in Bend, and it's super, super appealing for outdoor recreation, our breweries, our community amenities. It just goes on, right? Remote work has opened the door for a lot of people moving from higher cost places like Los Angeles, the Bay Area, parts of Texas, Washington, so they can come and enjoy all these amenities, and they can still be here in the heart of Bend. So we still have a strong demand, right? Supply constraints, right? We've had a limited amount of housing up until this point. We're geographically limited by mountains and rivers. Zoning rules restrict some new developments, but it keeps changing. And it historically kept inventory really low until recently. We have a bunch of new developments, and houses just aren't flying off the shelf as quickly as they used to be. So it's created a lot more supply for buyers to look at. Local experts, including myself, have mixed opinions on the market trajectory. Some predict a modest correction of 5 or 10% in high-priced neighborhoods, while others believe limited inventory and steady demand will keep prices relatively stable. Me personally, from the buyers I've represented recently and the sellers, we've noticed we've had to come down on price, or we've been able to negotiate a pretty good, significant price reduction on houses that we're going in contract for. So I think the key point to take is, if you're a buyer, deals are to be had. If you're a seller, then you got to make sure your house is priced correctly and taking in all considerations, time, what your house looks like, where it's located, all of those things in. So with your good quality real estate agent, make sure you're asking those questions so you can get your house priced effectively. So what does that mean for buyers? Be ready to act fast when the right property comes along, because even though there's still stuff available, there's a lot of stuff available. When the right property comes across, you're likely not the only one that's looking for that property, right? So we want to jump on it right away, make your competitive offer, have your real estate agent do a comparative market analysis. What's the CMA? Well, they should be telling you what the house is worth in today's market, right? And that's something we do with all of our buyers. We got to understand your financing options. So, check in with Garrett Myers over at Elevate Mortgage and make sure that you are good to go. Get your pre-approval locked in and ready to go. So when the right house comes to market, you can pull the trigger. But you got to research neighborhoods carefully. Some areas see slower growth, some others, location is huge, right? Like make sure your house is in a good location, not only for you to live there, but for resale value in the future, right? For sellers, consider market timing carefully. Winter is going to produce lower prices on houses than spring and summer. So if you don't have to sell right now, maybe it's a good time to wait until spring. Give us a call. We'd love to chat about that and when it might be the time for you to sell, because it might not be today unless you absolutely have to. You got to work with your agent to set a competitive price. We'll give you a CMA. And then we know we don't look on Zillow to see how much houses are worth, right? Like if you have an agent that looks on Zillow, that is not the best place to check out what the price of your home should be. They should do a really deep dive comparative market analysis on what your home is worth. And, we have to be strategic. Marketing can make a huge difference in this market. There's a big, debate right now. A big company out there is kind of like, well, let's keep all our listings private. They're trying to do it to, kind of stick it to Zillow. But what in essence I believe it's going to do, it's going to limit the exposure of what they're saying, what their house is selling, right? No one agency has enough agents in a particular area to completely dominate a market, especially in Central Oregon. It's buyers agents and sellers agents working together. Therefore, we have to advertise your property and get it out there. Your situation might be different. I'd love to talk to you about what your situation looks like. If that's the case, you want to keep it private, we'll talk about realistic of what that's going to look like. So conclusion, in Ben's dynamic 2025 market, prices remain a little high. A small correction might happen. It's already happening. People are coming down on prices. We see price reductions every day, but I think that's more of a fact of them being overpriced in the beginning rather than an actual market correction. Which we haven't seen in quite some time. Prices continue to escalate as we go forward through the years. So if you buy a house right now, it's going to most likely be worth more next year. Not enough for you to sell it, but it will appreciate in value, right? We bought our house last year, and we have already noticed significant appreciation. We did a ton of remodeling and stuff, but even on top of that, the house itself just got worth more over a year. 2 years is really the mark before you should ever even consider selling it if you want to avoid capital gains. Disclaimer, I'm not an accountant, so make sure you talk to your accountant about that. But typically that's the rule. You have to hold something for 2 years before you can get the automatic exemption. Staying informed and working with a local real estate expert is absolutely going to help you make the best decisions. If you're trying to do this on your own, you're up for a battle, because for 23 years I've been doing this, and no market is ever the same. It changes every single day, and you should be really working with somebody that's a local expert to tell you what is the right way to do this. And, they should also be working with you, right? They work for you. They work with you. They give you advice. You guys bat things back and forth. And that's what I love to do with all my buyers and sellers, just to have an engaged conversation that gives you the true picture of what's going on in Central Oregon today, whether you're buying or selling. If you guys want a personalized consult, all the information is right there below. We've got a couple of free gifts for you. We got our free seller's guide. We got our free buyer's guide. We got our free relocation guide. All of them are chock full of the best information about buying or selling houses in Central Oregon, or actually anywhere for that matter, because buying or selling most places is pretty similar. The relocation guide is very specific to Ben. So we'll give you a couple, 3 QR codes you can scan. You can grab those. Chime in, let us know. We want to hear in your comments what you're thinking about doing. So put it down below. We try to answer all of our comments while we keep putting out the content every week to grow everyone's education on real estate in and around Central Oregon. So I didn't say this before. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm with the Lifestyle and Bend team. In fact, it's my team, and I'm with Epic Realty in beautiful Bend, Oregon. And we would love to hear from you if you're looking to buy and or sell a house in the near future. We'll talk to you soon.